Hello and welcome to COP27 on what is meant to be the second to last day of the negotiations here, but it's looking like in classic UNFCCC COP style that we're going to go into overtime, with negotiations maybe going on past Friday into Saturday, Sunday and maybe even Monday. And that's because when we're looking at the texts and the conversations that are going on, there is a huge amount that has yet to be resolved. And a lot of the negotiations up in the last few days have been going on into the night, into the early hours of the morning, with member states really struggling to find consensus on the issues. Been a major area of discussion in the last few days has been the publication of the cover texts. Now this is a part of the documentation that will be published when this conference all comes to a close, which will be the first few pages of the text which sort of say the most important things, and this text itself is negotiated between member states. And it's often very significant. The text last year became what became the Glasgow Climate Pact. That was quite ambitious, not as ambitious as many of us would have liked, but pretty ambitious. But this year we're seeing a what looks like a quite significant backtrack against not only the 1.5 degree temperature target, but also a lot of the ambition that was put in place at Glasgow. So it's all looking a little bit worrying at the moment. If we look at the negotiations, there is a huge amount to be done and simply not much time to do it. So it's expected that member states are going to be staying on into the night again to try and come to consensus on not just the cover text, but many other draft decisions. The last time I checked, there were over 90 draft decisions that have been tabled, and I've been informed that this is pretty rare for that many texts to be on the table. So negotiators really do have a big task cut out for them. On all things not the negotiations, the last few days of the conference for people who aren't involved in the negotiations are sort of coming to a close. There are still a lot of people here, but it seems to be sort of getting a little bit quieter. The final day of side events and the pavilions is tomorrow, and we will see people start to return home. I should also tell you a happy belated Biodiversity Day for yesterday. Yesterday was a little bit of a blur, so I wasn't able to do a video check-in, but yesterday was the first ever UNFCCC Biodiversity Day, with hundreds of events taking place across this venue on all things biodiversity and nature, and the role that nature can and should play in getting us to our climate goals. There were many fascinating conversations all around how nature can play a role in mitigation, adaptation, building resilience, and here at ZSL we also had our side event where the wonderful Nathalie Pettorelli, one of our scientists at ZSL, gave a presentation, and then I helped be on the panel. It was really fun, and I think you can watch it back on YouTube if you'd like to, and we also have a blog out about it, which I'm sure will be linked in the description of this video. The nature debates yesterday were really interesting. There's a really fascinating set of conversations going on around how we need to definitely use nature. Nature needs to be a huge amount of the solution. We think around a third of all the sort of mitigation and adaptation investments that need to happen through nature. But it also can't be done in place of massive decarbonisation. Nature needs to happen alongside and not in place of, because in the worst cases it can be used as quite an effective greenwashing strategy to distract from companies and businesses and countries that aren't properly de-investing and moving away from fossil fuels, but they're sort of covering up by saying they're investing in nature. So we want to really push away from that, because it's not science-led, it's not what's best for biodiversity, and instead we need a sort of tandem approach where we've got massive decarbonisation alongside massive investment in nature. So with that, I'm going to sign off, and I'll try and check in the last sort of crucial 48 hours of the conference. Have a good one. Bye.